Locus here, and here's my review on these two amazing figures from MegaHouse Artworks Undead figures. They are from the Kamen Rider series, Blade series, and they are called Undead not because they are zombies, but it's just how they were called in the series. Undead. I got it very loose. I got it sometime last year. I forgot when. But this figure were released sometime around 2006 or 2007. And this one is called the Caucasus Undead, and this one is the Giraffa Undead. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but yeah, that's how they were called. But for the sake of this review, let's just call this a Stag Beetle and a Beetle Undead here. So they are static pose figures, meaning they don't have any articulation at all, like zero articulation. But despite the fact that they don't have any articulation, it really comes with good sculpting. Actually, it doesn't have like a level of S.I.C type of thing, but I think the motive here is just to capture the definitive look of the actual figure or character from the series. They are around the 7-inch scale. They can be displayed alongside with your S.I.C line if you're into the super imaginative Shogokin as well. But they do not have the same, what do you call that? They are not in scale in terms of proportion. Yeah, the proportion is very, this is much more thinner than the regular S.I.C. But they can still be displayed, and you can still use this as a you can take a photo of it if you're into toy photography alongside with your S.I.C. It's just a matter of putting your object focus more rather than this one, like this. For example, if this is an S.I.C figure, you can just focus more on this particular item instead of this one on the background, just to convey a like a scene, like they were fighting or something like that. So going back on the figure, the shield cannot be taken out. It's very glued together there. It's well sculpted there, so you cannot remove this one. But the sword, you can remove this easily. It has a very loose grip on the weapon. Actually, it's the reason why I bought this one. I got it a second hand, and then it came with a stand. And again, this is a second hand, so the expectation isn't that high when it comes to the stand. And I believe the owner used to glue this fit together on the peg hole, because one of the things that I've noticed here is that they don't really can stand firmly on the base here. They tend to lean over forward when you display them, so there would still a chance that it would fall off easily. I had some instances before when I first got this one. As you can see here, he's more leaning towards forward. I think that's one of the things that I've noticed here. One of the things that I don't like about this one, but overall I still like it because of the sculpting, the design. It has some very it came with a very soft plastic in some parts, but at the same time it's very sharp, so it's still not for kids. I wouldn't suggest to give or to lend this to your kids or nephews. It's very sharp, but well detailed. Then, about this one, this is the Giraffa Undead, and again, I think for the sake of this review, let's call it the Stag Beetle Undead. It has a very nice sculpting as well, the details. It's very accurate. The face is top notch. You can see here, that's the paint apps is good as well. It's just that as far as I know, the motif, the color scheme here, it has some golden parts in here. but I think as time goes by, the gold fades away. So it's one of the things that you would need to know about this figure. And yes, it still leans towards so it would still fall off easily on your shelf. And just like this one, it came with some sharp but soft plastic. Still, I wouldn't recommend to lend this to your niece or nephews or to your kids if you have kids at home. And again, the reason why I bought it is because of the weapons. You can easily remove the weapons here. So I finally removed the weapons. The handle here is made out of soft plastic, while the blade itself here, it's a bit hard, but not hard enough to be not to be broken easily. I think it's still fragile, so you need to be careful. Very soft. This is how it's look like. And then here's the broadsword. Okay. This one's very soft plastic as well on the handle, so be careful, you might break this thing off in half. That's it. Here's the side-by-side comparison between the S.I.C Blade King form and these two figures. I'm not gonna emphasize more on how much this thing is in scale with the S.I.C. Let me just remove um, the base stand here. So again, they are not in proportion per se. But again, if you're into toy photography, you can still use this as a like, you can place it here, and then you can just focus more on your primary subject rather than this one here, and then that would still serve whatever scene you want to come up with your toy photography, because side by side they are not really in proportion body wise. Same goes with this one. And this is the main reason why I bought these figures to begin with. These two static figures at the back. The main reason is with their weapons. As you can see, Garen King Firm looks far more badass than before, because the original weapon it came with is this. Though it looks cool and all, but I would still want Garen King Form to have his own sword as well. And this time, it's a double wielding weapon. It's very cool. And it came from this very same monster that he defeated from the series. If you've seen the series, spoiler alert for those who haven't. Again, the figure was released way back in 2006 or 2007. I'm not sure if I've mentioned that already. But yeah, these two MegaHouse artwork was released sometime around that year, 2006 and 2007. But going back here for Garen King form, he looks more badass with these weapons here. Double wielding. I think he looks way more cooler when you're gonna display him with these weapons in his hands. And the good thing about this is that the handling here is a bit more thicker, so it has a strong grip. At the same time, it fits perfectly with the weapon wielding hands that came with Garen King form. Same thing goes with this King form blade, because Kamen Rider blade, S.I.C line, most of them, are technically all of them, their weapon wielding hands is a bit loose, So there would be some cases where the weapon falls off more easy um, than it's supposed to be. But for this one, it has a very thick handing here, so that it gives the weapon wielding hands a far more solid grip on the weapon. So overall, I like how this turns out. And as I can remember, the S.I.C. superhero saga, the S.I.C. superhero saga, I think the storyline I've seen the Joker blade form was wielding this specific sword. So that's pretty much it for this review. You can still check out the MegaHouse artwork Undead figures in eBay, Amazon, or you can just Google it just to see and to know more about it. I can't really vouch for the price, or I cannot give you an idea on how much it costs because it may vary depending on where you look at it. But it's kind of worth it if you're gonna display these figures with these two awesome weapons. So if you have any questions or concerns, if you have anything to talk about this storyline, if you need something to ask me, you can just comment down below. You can also follow me on Instagram or Facebook. And please do like and subscribe still. Thank you.